Welcome to Ears to the Street. I'm your host HG with Factor Entertainment Meet, and we're back in it today, y'all. You see, I got my co-host, Uncle Off Grid in the building with me. We tapping back in with these Colorado Ranch couple. A lot of new developments, a lot of updates we got for you. And we're asking the question now. Is everything on the up and up? Is everything legit? And like last time, we're gonna let Off Grid quarterback this thing because he's the one doing the lead work. He's doing the research. For the most part, I've done a little bit of research here and there, and we're just coming to the community with the facts that we can find, and we have to scrutinize this thing. We have to make sure when people call to the aid of the black community that everything's on the up and up.
Right.
People aren't being swindled out of their money. People aren't being manipulated out of their money. And I'm not putting any pre-condemnation on anything. I'm just saying, with the type of person I am, and with the type of person that Off Grid is, we think it is imperative to know when we have these particular situations where there's this outcry for help or support from the black community, and especially in regards to racism and things of that sort. We want to make sure everything's on the up and up and everything's legit. So, how you doing today, Off Grid? Everything good with you?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing perfect. I'm doing perfect. So, me and you've been kind of going back and forth off behind the scenes, and you've shared with me a significant amount of updates when it comes to this Colorado couple who claims that they're dealing with systemic racism in this particular part of Colorado, and local racism. So we did a live the first time. We had one point of view, and then now we're coming back on the second time. So how has things changed? With the current developments and things you've been researching and the information you've acquired, how has some of this, how was our perspective from the first time? How is it shifted now?
I think before we jump into that, we should recap.
Okay.
That way we don't lose focus, and anybody who's new watching, they can get up to date and then proceed on with the new findings. So basically, I think you said you heard slightly about it before I had told you mentioned it to you. I had heard about this case about maybe a month ago.
Okay.
No details. I just heard that it was a couple that had a ranch, and they were being victimized and things like that. So I kind of like searched around the internet, and I looked, and then I jumped, I jumped into it. So basically, we're dealing with a Colorado.
Mhm.
It's a place called Freedom Acres Ranch. It's in Colorado Springs, Colorado,
Mhm.
and it's owned by Courtney and Nicole Mallory. That's a couple that's originally from Houston. They moved to Freedom Acres Ranch, is what they call it, in 2020.
Okay.
1,000 acres out there in El Paso County.
Okay. Okay.
And from the story we've seen, there were supposed to have been some locals and a neighbor who were vandalizing the farm, the ranch,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, putting nigger on I guess on walls, and at one point the wife Nicole Mallory, she said inside items in their home.
Mm.
I mean, some today I'm thinking like, wow, so
Yeah.
cattle's been coming up missing, dead, gutted, their dog poisoned,
Mhm.
um trash being dumped, their security gate being tampered with, um
A lot of accusations. A lot of accusations.
just everything you could think of some black people that's in a town that's 86% white, and it's just a brother and his wife there. They don't have any kids there. There's no black community right there. It's just them there with these people that's doing these things. So when I first heard about the case, I'm thinking this is terrible, right? This is horrible. So I go to investigate, and then you start finding out things that the brother says that the people been they tapped into his well water. They were stealing his water. They damaged his fence. Even a postal worker had asked him, what are y'all doing down here? Why are you here? Um, just a whole lot. And the sheriff, the local sheriff, whose name is what's his name?
It was a Gruhart or Gru something like that.
Oh,
Grup or some
oh
crazy
yeah,
shit.
Emery Ray Gerhardt.
Mm-hmm.
It was alleged that he was married to the district attorney. So I'm like, wow,
Okay.
these people got they're really in deep with the situation right here.
Mm-hmm.
They had to go fund me up, and they needed help down there. There was supposed to have been a rally of February 17th, I believe. They wanted to have a rally down there at the
Mm-hmm.
Capitol, I believe, in order to bring awareness to him. Mr. Mallory and his wife Nicole, they were arrested on separate days. I think she was arrested first. She turned herself in first and got out, and then they came and got Maurice. They came and got
Oh, now that's something that we didn't discuss on the last one. That she had actually been arrested also.
right, right. I
Okay.
was kind of tripping off that too, but there was warrants out for both of them. She went in first. I believe she turned herself in first, and then he went a couple days later. They came and got him. Um,
Mm-hmm.
their bail was supposed to be, I think, 2,000 apiece. When Courtney went up in there, the judge upped his to 6,000. So there was some talk about
Right.
that. Them trying to hold him up in there. And luckily, they didn't arrest both of them at the same time, because that would leave the ranch fully open to whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So the brother, he goes in. The NAACP is contacted. They help get him out, and now there's talk about what's going on. So that was that case there last week when we checked into it.
Right.
So
Exactly.
this
Exactly.
this case this case been going on uh for since 2020. They say for like 2.5 years, almost 3 years.
So,
So
oh, now continue before I
so,
continue.
so today I decided to do extensive research today, because, as you know, on the last show, um, there was a few people that probably either didn't follow the case or didn't understand, or just they're just entitled to their opinions. They
Mm-hmm.
felt that too much focus was being put on the Mallory as far as anything negative, and I think even the word hater was used. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to expect that. It's a volatile situation. You got a couple that's in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by 86% white, and they have these racist accusations being made that these things are being done to them. You have to investigate. If you just, I feel sorry for the person that just goes off of what one side is saying, and that's it, because you can end up in some trouble, or either eating your words in the end.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you had something you wanted to jump in and add?
Nah, it's just I just find it well for this to be going on for 2 years, and you say initially you knew about it a month ago. I'm just trying to see, why wasn't it brought to? It seems to be more public now,
Right.
So I'm just tripping off of like, okay, why didn't we hear about this a year ago? You know what I'm saying? Or 2 years ago when it first started. Why all of a sudden 2 years after the fact now it's this big outcry? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it just had to build up momentum. I don't know.
And let me be fair to say that when it's been going on 2.5 years, almost three, um, they didn't officially file charges until, I'm not sure what the exact pinpoint date is. So they
Okay.
say it's been going on for 2, 3, years. Um, but I don't have the date of when it officially started, because there was a grace period when it wasn't going on. Um, so
Now
today I
we
done some. Go ahead.
no, I just wanted to. I we have a question, and I know that you're about to get into the question, so but I'm a pop this question on the screen, but still go at the pace you were gonna go with what you have,
Right, right, right.
because I know you're gonna get to this question.
Or I can barely see it on there.
Okay, it's the question is Off Grid still reaching out to the Mallories to lend support? So that's the
Yes,
question. That's
yes.
the question.
I've done everything possible. I've went on posts. I've even commented on other people's comments, of the comments. Say, hey, I'm down here. There's some brothers and sisters. I've had at least I've met about 4 new people from all of this, and none of us have heard from the Mallories.
Mm.
None of us have heard from the Mallories. So yes, I've been trying, and I've even called a sister that lives in, I believe she lives in Aurora, and this is a good sister right here. Um, she's done things in the Black community. She was, as myself, was part of the so-called conscious community and everything. And I
Mm-hmm.
called on her because she lives in Denver, and I know she would lend some assistance. And she's even said that she hasn't heard anything. And she's a prominent member out there. She hasn't heard anything.
And
So
she lives in Colorado and haven't heard
she
anything back.
lives.
Trying to contact these ranchers, this couple ranchers, to offer some type of assistance.
This is someone who could make a couple phone calls and get some good concrete assistance. There's a lot of people that's, I'm sure, trying to get in contact with the Mallories just to find out what's going on and everything else. And then there's
Mm-hmm.
people like the sister I'm describing that will make that phone call and then make another phone call, and some good things will happen for them.
Right.
She
Okay.
contacted me today and said she still hasn't heard anything. So
Okay.
today I woke up, and this whole situation has been heavy on my mind, because just to hear that it's a couple living anywhere, and some white folks is on them, and all this different stuff, that enrages and it angers me. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because like I say, we always talk about Black Wall Street. We always talk about Black Wall Street. People got all these different romanticized versions of Black Wall Street and all this and that. And it's like, if it's happening again, what are we gonna do besides talk about it?
Mm-hmm.
And also the thing with, because if you go on the Mallory's page, their Instagram, or if you follow the story anywhere, whether it's Google or news at anything, you'll see it's a disproportionate number of Black people on there saying that we're here for you, we're ready to lend support, and they're placing prayer hands and holding prayer vigils and stuff. And you know, I guess that's their way of contributing. I guess any way you can help bring attention to the case. I guess that's any publicity is good publicity, but they need concrete help. They need eyes, ears, hands, feet, and rifles, and masculine men down there, and wise women. That's what they need down there. I
Right.
don't think they need too many prayer vigils and prayer hands and prayer circles. You know what I mean?
All
So
right.
today I woke up with this heavy on my mind, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna dedicate some time today. And I'm a busy man. I'm supposed to be building a fire pit for some stuff that we got going on down here at our land. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Where there ain't no crackers forcing us and doing all this and that. We ain't having them type of problems down here. So
Right.
I got my ass up today and I went to the library, the best place you can go to do research. I know people like to sit at homes on these phones and we think we researchologists on Google and our phones and everything.
Right.
And true enough, it doesn't really matter where you do your research, but
Right. Right.
for us,
Right.
we got to have it. The average Black person, you give them a phone and a tablet and some Wi-Fi, they swear they know everything.
Right.
So I went down to the public library, and I have a library card, and I dedicated 3 hours of my valuable time today to find out about this case, to try to make contact just to get something, and I was rewarded with great information. I feel good right now.
No doubt. No doubt. Peace to my good brother Mr. G for tuning in. Appreciate you tuning in, Mr. G. Continue, Lamont.
I went down there today with my phone and my tablet and a lot of these place cards, and
Mm-hmm.
I took notes, and I asked to use the earphones, and I listened to interview after interview, and I read everything. I read everything that can pop up. I read things from 8 days ago, 5 days ago, 3 days ago, and 8 hours ago. I read
Mm-hmm.
everything that they had on Google about it. This is what I come up with. Over the course of 2 years, it's been 24 complaints filed by both parties, by the Mallorys and the Clarks. Now, the Clarks you're hearing about for the first time is because those are the neighbors. These are the Caucasian neighbors.
Okay.
Teresa Clark is her name. It's Teresa and Bonnie Clark. Teresa is a daughter, and I believe Bonnie is an elder mother. It's Teresa's mom. She's the elderly mother. Teresa has a disability. I think some type of brain. Something happened with her. She still functions. She can still function everything, and she can call the police on them and do these things that the Mallorys are saying. So it's been over 2 years. It's been over 24 complaints filed by both parties now.
Mm-hmm.
The Mallorys, Courtney and Nicole Mallory, the brother and sister, they were granted temporary protection orders on a couple of occasions. That was left out of a lot of the sound bites. They were granted. Okay. The police have been assisting them. They helped them with that. It's alleged that Teresa and Bonnie, the Clarks who live next door, they've incited for people to do harm to the Mallorys on social media. Far as I know, I'm not a legal expert, but I think if you make a threat against somebody on social media, I think that can be viewed as a terrorist threat, I believe, and the authorities can get involved for that. I don't think you're allowed to incite.
I've heard of that. Was it? What you said partial? You said part of it. Terroristic threat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
You can get charged with that on social media, especially things like inquiring about pitchforks and setting fire and making it so there's no way to get in and out. These are some of the things that are alleged were said on social media.
Okay. So not to cut you off, but I wanted to ask you, were you able to track down any of the Clark social media?
No.
Okay.
No, there's no social media. It's ironic that in these stories, and it's not just from one source. I've read multiple sources from Colorado news affiliates and just people around the nation that's writing. Not one social media post, not one screenshot, nothing of what's alleged about the white folks threatening them online. I would think that's a prized possession right there. You would screenshot that.
Yeah, that's clear cut evidence, proof right there of harassment, that's defamation or something.
That's enough for the FBI to get involved.
Yeah.
Regardless, you believe the FBI gonna come in and help these black people, whatever your idea may be of the FBI, but that's enough in order to say, hey, I have these receipts. So there's no evidence of social media inciting on social media. Now, the first complaint from the Mallorys went out on December of 2021. December of 2021 was the first complaint. Now, the Clarks, that's the crackers.
Go ahead.
Clarks filed on January 2022. So let's remember these dates. The Mallorys first filed a complaint on December of 2021, and the Clarks, they filed on January of 22. So you see it right there. That's December and that's January.
Right. That's a few months apart. But no, that's a month apart. That's a month apart. That's 1 month apart. Right.
Now, there's a lack of clarity where each property ends.
Okay.
There's a lack of clarity on where each property ends. Apparently, where the Mallorys live at, the Mallorys are the brother and sister. Where the Mallorys live at and where the Clarks live at, there's an I forget that term. Is there endearment? Have you ever heard of that before? Endearment.
That's a endearment in regards to some
land or area. I might be using the wrong word. It'll come to me in my notes.
Encroachment, I think maybe.
Not
encroachment. No,
it's a word. Either way,
Mm-hmm.
with, and this is amazing because the Mallories have 1,000 acres. I don't know how much the Clarks have, but the Mallories
Mm-hmm.
have 1,000 acres. So there's a battle between, on the side of their roads where there's a dead end. There's a battle on who owns that part right there. So there's a discrepancy there. Now, mind you, the Mallories are the new booties on the block. That means that the
Right.
Clarks been there, and whatever road. I'm not saying that the Clarks have unlimited use of that area, but
Mm-hmm.
they've been there first. So whatever they've been doing, I'm pretty sure they want to keep on doing that. The Mallories come in, and it's some type of divide between their homes, and it's a discrepancy even on court records of who owns what side and things like that.
And then we have Mo chiming in said I think the correct terminology is term of endearment for that particular what we was for that terminology that you were looking for.
Term of endearment? No, it has to do with an area, some type of area. It's called easement, or I've heard of it before, but I had
Okay.
never. I'm a, I'm
Okay.
a, we're gonna come to it when I get to it in the notes. I'm trying to flick through there now. It's called easement or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
It'll pop up. So, um, now Judge Deborah Pearson, she raised Mr. Mallory's Courtney's bond to 6K. That needs to be
Mm-hmm.
investigated, because if it was 2,000, why did y'all wait till it's time for him to be released and you raised it to six? That's something that's wrong right there.
Yeah.
That needs that
Yeah.
needs to be investigated. Now, uh, Courtney Mallory, the brother, he's 41 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He was charged. People wonder, why was he arrested? He was charged with felony stalking, misdemeanor tampering with utility meter, and his wife Nicole Mallory, she was charged with felony stalking. If you wonder what the stalking thing is that they're allegedly, they have allegedly made, I guess, a crazy amount of complaints where the police feel like is they're being frugal, they're being assholes, and they just keep calling them. There is a
Mm-hmm.
law. I don't know what the term of that law is, but you can't keep calling the police and keep calling people. They put a stop
Right.
to that for a while. Just like in the court, if you keep filing frivolous lawsuits, you get
Mm-hmm.
banned. And also, what I said on there, the brother Courtney, he was charged with tampering with a utility meter. The sheriff says that when he went to investigate the Clark's claim, the Clarks are the neighbors, when he went to investigate the Clark's claims, he said he seen some type of wire coming from down from a pole, I guess into their house. So he
Mm-hmm.
called the utility company, and the utility company confirmed that Mr. Mallory or Nicole, somebody then rigged up some electricity. They were stealing electricity
Mm.
from the meter. This is
Okay.
in the reports. Now, the Mallorys and the Clarks, these motherfuckers live 1 mile away from each other. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, so they're disputing over land. They both have a lengthy amount of land, but the actual residential homes are a mile apart.
I can't say that. I can just say that the Mallorys own 1,000 acres.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the Clarks own, but
Mm-hmm.
their homes where they lay their heads,
Mm-hmm.
it's a mile away from each
Yeah.
other. A
Yeah.
mile.
Yeah. That kind of just takes me back. So you know how maybe like your country areas or rural areas where the
Right.
houses are so far away, they're neighbors, but like they live all the way down the damn street. You know what I'm saying?
They
Like
they
all the way down the street.
they live
Yeah.
a mile apart, so it makes you wonder, how are y'all bumping heads?
Yeah.
A mile apart, how are y'all bumping heads? You know what I mean? That's kind of weird right there. So
Yeah.
anyway, the term is easement. It says that the Mallorys and the Clarks, they live 1 mile away and they're separated by an easement. That's the name of the area that separates that drive where it's a dead end, and one side is the Clarks and one side belongs to the Mallories, but they're in a battle over, I guess,
Right.
how deep that goes, whatever. And it's called an easement, EASEMENT, easement.
And based off of some research that Mo did, it said Google says the easement which allows the use of another's land. And I looked it up, and the definition I have is an easement is a legal right to occupy or use another person's land for specific purposes. The use of the land is limited, and the original owner retains legal title of the land. A legally binding easement must be made in writing, the exact location stipulated in the property's deed.
Right. And
So
so
yeah.
apparently neither party has done neither party has taken liberties to try to, I guess, come to terms with, hey, can I use this, or no, you can't use it. And even on
Mm-hmm.
court records, they're saying that it's not clearly defined in the property lines of who actually owns that, I guess, that easement, or that area of the easement.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
Now the Clarks, they have videos of Nicole Mallory saying with a loudspeaker, "Pack for heaven," "Hands up, don't shoot," and some other some type of BLM chants and word slogans and stuff.
Okay.
You know, we can use common sense now, y'all. It's Colorado. Um, the Clarks are crackers, and you got the Mallorys over here. I don't think that in the area is 86% white. I don't think they're gonna be taken too lightly to anything Black Lives Matter. Let's be real about that. I don't think the people are gonna be, oh, we got a neighbor that Black Lives Matter. I don't
Right.
think the Clarks is like, hey, I don't think they're
Right.
like that. Now the
Okay.
Mallorys have a right to do or claim or whatever they want to be, but 86% white and you black and you doing that, what do you expect?
Now you saying that she was yelling on a loudspeaker? Is this like something she's doing just in front of her house, or she just trying to make a point because she's having this feud with a neighbor? Like
Um,
who would just just do some random broadcast of Black Lives Matter? Like
I can't say where it takes place, but that easement seems to be like the hot spot where they meet up at. So
okay,
I think
okay,
over that area right there, it's alleged it's supposed to be on video. I'm alleging it, but they're saying that Mrs. Clark says she has video
okay.
now of Nicole, the wife, hollering, saying, "Pack for heaven," and "Hands up, don't shoot." That's what they're saying. Um,
Oh wow, that sounds like a contradiction right there. Cause how you gonna say pack for heaven? That seems like a threat right there.
Yeah, pack for heaven. Yeah, pack for heaven means I'm gonna send you to your maker. I'm,
Right. But then you
yeah.
got hands up, don't shoot. You know what I'm saying? But
But that saying is I can't breathe and all. I mean, come on.
it's
So
crazy.
Vern Howard is chairman of the MLK Junior Colorado branch of it's a holiday commission, and he spoke on behalf of the Mallorys. Now,
Mm-hmm.
here's what I found interesting about the brother Vern Howard of the chairman of this MLK thing. Um, as I was reading these articles, I just got a quick feeling from the MLK Colorado commission thing is just that this is a black group that's just jump on a jump on any accusation that somebody black made that something happened without any
Mm-hmm.
evidence. Because when you read a lot of these articles, and a lot of these articles coming from black publishers and black news articles, they not only are they spelling shit wrong, they getting Courtney and Nicole mixed up. I guess because it's two. Um, Courtney, I guess it would be considered
Right.
a female name, although it's not. Um, but the newspaper is getting both of them mixed up, and I feel like they should be on that. It should be clear cut who's Nicole and who's Mallory. I mean, who's Courtney and who's Nicole, because the white newspapers got everything right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Right.
these people are just quick to jump on some type of racial thing. Um, so like I say, it's
Mm-hmm.
been 170 calls and combined 170 calls and 911 calls all total. 19 complaints. So like 19 911 calls and 170 calls.
And
I don't
this
know if
is
that's
now is this all coming from the Mallory side, or this is both combined?
It just said 170 calls total. It didn't
Okay. Yeah.
elaborate saying if it's the Clarks and the Mallory's combined or just one. But
Okay.
uh, the Mallory's got arrested for that, so I'm pretty sure I guess it came from them. Now
Mm.
Colorado Public Radio News, they have records requests pending to review these documents. They say to this date, um, the Colorado Public News Radio, they haven't seen anything from the police department. They want to see these records of the calls and these videos and everything. They haven't received anything. Mr. Mallory, uh, Courtney Mallory, he claims a loss of $200,000. His next
Mm.
court date is February 14th, and
Oh,
Nicole's
that's tomorrow.
yes, and Nicole's is February 16th. Hers is on the 16th. Now, here's where it starts to get tricky now. Now, as I said before, they're battling with this neighbor that's a mile away. Um, Cattle being beheaded, gutted, dog being poisoned, gate being tampered with, cameras being tampered with, signs of go home nigger and all this different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But surprisingly, the Mallorys, Nicole and Courtney, they provided food for the residents of that community during COVID.
So they were offering assistance at one point in time.
At one point in time, the Mallorys provided food for the residents in that rural area of that community during COVID. They said this stuff been going on 2-3 years. Remember
Wow.
that. Remember
Wow.
that.
So this could just be like a situation where, I mean, it doesn't, how we were kind of attacking this thing with the first video. We were kind of under the impression of, just this big community of racism coming at this couple. They're behind enemy lines. 86% Caucasian people in this area. The sheriff is married to the district attorney. Now we got systemic racism. The sheriff's office not doing anything. Just by the update that you gave us today, this is just a neighborly feud. You know what I'm saying? And who's to say the Clarks may be racist in a
Right, right,
sense. You know
right,
what I'm saying? So,
right.
but this isn't like some, you know, it isn't something where we're trying to get troops up there. We got people coming up there. Thing. This is something that you basically can handle on your own. I mean, and then the Clarks. By the way, you said it. Well, we're dealing with like a grandmother or something, someone that's.
Yes, a woman and her mother,
So you
elderly
got
mother.
right. So you have a middle-aged black man, middle-aged black woman dealing with a elderly white woman, and 9 times out of 10, a middle-aged white woman.
Right, correct.
How much
Right.
help do they need up there?
And they live a mile apart.
You-
They live a mile apart. That's the key right there. A mile apart.
Get the Coast Guard up there. It's going down up in Colorado. They need help up there. All right, continue.
So
I'm sorry.
right.
It's
And any questions, stop me at any time. I don't mind. Definitely stop
yeah,
me. Any point anybody needs clarification or anything, stop at any point. All right.
yeah.
So the Mallorys struck a relationship with 5 food stores in Denver to supply food from their farm
Right.
during
I'm sorry.
COVID. During COVID,
Uh huh.
I'm gonna say it again. The Mallorys struck a relationship with 5 stores in Denver to supply food from their farm.
Mm,
Courtney, the brother, he said people were dying disproportionately during COVID.
okay.
Now, I don't know what that brother talking about. I don't know what he talking about. He said that people were dying disproportionately during COVID. So he's saying that in their area, that rural area right there, in that community, when COVID was going on, people were dying for lack of food. He's a liar.
Right.
Nobody died from lack of food from COVID. Nobody
Right.
died from lack of food. Like I think he got his. I think he got his pandemics mixed up with some other stuff because no one died because of lack of food. Stores might have been closed. Certain rural areas might have had a little harder time receiving food, but it's no way on the stage of how we see Mother Africa now. Come on now, ain't no
Yeah.
ain't
I
no
never
cracker,
during the whole pandemic. I don't remember any
not
news
one,
clips of someone dying from
not
starvation.
not one. And let me tell you some aside note. You talking to somebody who was I don't know if you ever seen the footage of Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia. That's that street where you see all the zombies bent over in the what's that fentanyl is real big and all that.
Right,
I
right,
was
right.
there. I was there for that on another little conscious community mission down there, helping a sister out down there. And
Mm-hmm.
I seen firsthand down there. I was down there when COVID was rocking down with the PPP loans and everything, and wasn't nobody dying. I didn't see not one COVID death down there, and that's people with open sores with needles and everything. I didn't see not one death down there, and I was down there for 30 days straight. And I'm talking about in the hood. I talked to people.
Mm.
Bums were buying food from us, and a bum tipped me $5. So bums
Mm.
in Philly even got the PPP loans. I seen a bum down there with $10,000
Yeah.
cash. Seriously, I'm saying it. That PPP loan would mess you up, man. People really got that money. So when Mr.
And
Mallory said, "Go ahead,"
no, I wanna just chime in on this question. So wait, it's not the Klan coming for the Mallorys. No, this is just some. This is like this is a elderly woman down the street a mile away. You know what I'm saying? A elderly mother and daughter. Having some dispute over some land. And who knows what's at that dividing point to where that easement. You know what I'm saying is taking place at.
right,
Like
right,
who knows? But go ahead, continue.
right. And again, these are notes that I took at the public library today. I'm not rephrasing. I shorthand wrote everything, but if you go to these articles, you're gonna read the same stuff. Um,
Right, right.
Now it says that Donacio Amaya. This name is important. Don Donacio Amaya. Now that's the farmhand that a lot of people didn't hear about. Donacio Amaya is a black and Mexican dude that Nicole Mallory met in town working at a store. She befriended him and because Nicole is the more talkative, physical one. This is what the news says. This isn't me. The news
Okay.
says that Mrs. Mallory is the turned up one. She's the masculine one. Um,
Mm.
Courtney is the more subtle one, the farmer. That's what it says. That ain't me saying that.
Okay.
Now, Denacio Amaya is a black and half Mexican man that Nicole met in the store. She befriended him. She asked about farmhands, local farmhands in town, people who might want to help out.
Mhm.
Denacio Amaya, they call him Don for short. He volunteered for that position to come help the Mallorys on their land. So this is a black couple with no black support, and they happen to look up and I guess find a black and Mexican dude in town.
Mhm.
Here's where the plot gets even more twisted than them and the Clarks living a mile away. Denacio Amaya is married to a local cracker.
Okay.
He's married to a local white woman.
Mhm.
In 2021, he worked at the ranch full time. He got hired full time.
Mm.
He was able to bring his white woman with him.
Mm.
This man was married to a white lady in town. They have a son, and the
Mhm.
Mallorys
Allowed him.
allowed
Allowed. Yeah.
him to bring this white bitch in their
Mm.
fucking house.
Okay. Okay. So it kind of seems just based off what you're telling me, this couple isn't you know this isn't even about racism. This isn't got anything to do with racism now. Just based off that. The couple obviously they're not racist because they were offering support during COVID to this white family that lives a mile away. On top of that, they was seeking some type of help, some type of land help, and ran into a Latino person who's married to a white woman and invited them into their homes. So it's clear cut that this black couple isn't racist, and
Right.
you know if these white people that you were offering assistance to during COVID allowed you to assist them, I don't know. Are racists, are racists taking handouts during pandemics or something? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then
Well,
you're talking about food shortages that we know didn't even happen during
right.
the pandemic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
it seems like a lot of cap is going on right now. You know what I'm saying?
It is. It is
You know what I'm
a whole
saying?
lot of cap, and I find it disrespectful that for Mr. Mallory to even make that claim that people were dying disproportionately, and there's a quote where he said he wanted to help his community. So that means this man said and seen that area, 86% white. He's
Mm-hmm.
seen those people as part of his community. That's what he
Mm-hmm.
said now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he allowed his wife to go into town to meet Mr. Donacio and allow them to move onto his land. Now, it's called Freedom Acres Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these Mallorys now, these Negroes now, because the Mallorys about to be turned into Negroes now. The
Okay.
Mallorys, these Negroes now, they didn't go back to Houston and find some of their neighbors or friends or family members. No, they looking around town and they done found a half Mexican and half black
Mm-hmm.
dude that's married to a white cracker bitch,
Mm-hmm.
and they allowed them to move into Freedom Acres Ranch. They
Mm.
didn't put no call out and ask for nobody. They ain't did none of that. They found it. So okay, so that proves that the Mallorys are not racist. They're not. They're not racist.
Yeah, that's exactly, and by him using the terminology that he's using, I don't want anyone to think that ears to the street condones any form of racism either. That's his personal terminology. If in my opinion, if we have a large group of Caucasian people that we see on a daily basis, social media call black people niggers. Then, if a black person chooses to call the white race a cracker, that's his personal prerogative, and I'll leave that there.
Right. And I want to speak on that too. When I use those terms, I use them factually. And I'm gonna get to the part because there's gonna be a reason why I call that white woman a white bitch cracker. There's a reason why. And I feel that anyone that is non-black that watches this, if you feel offended, I hope you feel offended when you listen to the rap music that you listen to when you hear nigga, 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 nigga all day. Because I'm the type of black person, if you're gonna hear nigga, nigga, nigga all day, you're gonna hear honky cracker devil wetback. You're gonna hear those terms. Let's be fair all the way around the board. You're not just gonna dance and giggle and do a jig to that nigga music and hee ha ha without hearing it from another side. That's the type
Right,
of black person I am.
right. And
So let's get back to it. And overall, we're all good people. If there's
yeah,
a racist white person, we want to call that person a racist cracker devil. If there's a black person, I can understand some white person calling him a fucking nigger. You know what I'm saying? If he's doing
yeah.
some bullshit. So let's get back to the point. So now the half Mexican and black dude that the Mallory's allowed to work there and bring his white wife, his Caucasian wife there to work at the ranch. The man ended up dead on May 12th in 2022. He was found dead in his own chicken coop, not at the Mallory spot. He was found at where he formerly lived at in his chicken coop, shot in the back of the head with his pants down.
Wait, the Latino dude?
Don Amacio, that half black and half Mexican man that's married to the white woman that Mrs. Nicole Mallory befriended and found in town and asked him to work at the ranch, and he agreed, and he moved him and his wife and his kid to the ranch. He left one day to go on a mission. He was found dead inside of a chicken coop, shot in the back of the head with his pants down.
Whoa,
He
whoa.
was he was murdered. He was murdered at his former residents. He was away from the Mallory's camp because we got that mixed up at first. Because I was even saying that he was found on the Mallory's property in the chicken coop, shot in the back of the head. That's wrong. He was found in the chicken coop, shot in the back of the head with his pants down, but it wasn't at the Mallory spot. It was at his former spot, some other location. He was found murdered. It's an open investigation.
Now, when you say that, when you add that tad bit in, now that kind of turns into, you know, the Mallorys. Do they have something with what's going on? Because I'm pretty sure those people or this community knows that that particular person was helping the Mallorys out, that they had befriended them, and then this guy comes up, end up murdered, and then not only is he just murdered, he's like, that's execution style right there, with his pants down.
With his pants, the paper specifically said with his pants down. They didn't elaborate on, like, I mean, who knows? Who knows? You know, yeah, different people look at it different way. I look at that as a where was it just to add more
insult to injury?
Insult to injury. Was it trying to maybe say he was caught with another woman? Because it could be a multitude of things. But the thing was, he was found shot in the back of the head in the chicken coop with his pants down.
And we have a question. Was he still employed by the Mallorys at the time of his death? Do we have that information?
Absolutely, yes. He left for the day, for the week, whatever it was. He said, hey, I'm going to go over here and do some things. And they were looking for him. The Mallorys were looking for him. It's alleged that the Mallorys found him. I wasn't clear on what I was reading, but it's allegedly that they found him. The Mallorys. I don't know if it was Nicole. I don't know if it was Nicole went and looked for him or they went as a couple. I don't know. I know that the Mallorys made a statement. Well, Courtney, the brother, made a statement that that bullet was probably meant for me. I think he's capping because it's like when you see the pictures of Don Maceo, he don't look nothing like Mr. Courtney. He don't look nothing like Mr. Courtney. So Courtney, right, he capping on all that right there. He right. Definitely capping. But
now, you know, now we also have to take into consideration, you know, with him, he's half black, half Latino. They're in Colorado. You know, could we? And this is probably me hopping off on a ledge. You know, could we be thinking maybe a totally separate, isolated incident why this guy got killed? You know,
it could be. We don't know what he was into. He lived a different life. We don't know. Now, let me get to the point of why I seemingly insulted his wife for being Caucasian. The reason why I said that is because when you read the reports, Nicole Mallory had requested that Don Amayo's wife be kicked off of the ranch because she would argue with him, with Don Amayo. She would argue with her husband and she would call him a fucking nigger. Cole Mallory fired the wife and told her to leave Freedom Acres Ranch because she was calling her husband, not Courtney, she was calling her own husband a nigger. This is what the newspaper says.
Wow.
She was calling him a nigger, so they asked her to leave. They fired her, they kicked her off the ranch. When the dude went, I guess, to go check on his chickens or do whatever, he ends up dead. As of this date, the wife is on a run. They don't know where she's at. The son that they had is staying with family.
Oh, so the wife took him out.
Who knows?
This is some weird shit that's going on up here in Colorado.
Yes, man, show is.
This is like some... Oh, man, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, the Mallorys claim that within the first weeks of being on the land, they experienced racism. That shit don't make no sense. They say that within the first weeks of being on the land, they got the land in 2020, I believe. They say within the first weeks of being on the land, they experienced racism. Now, if I pull back in my notes, remember, Mr. Mallory was feeding people in the community.
Right, exactly.
They found 5 stores in order to trade their meat. Now, I also want to tell y'all, they was on some coon shit because he said, we were giving them our prize meat. So he ain't sharing no prize meat with no Negroes. He's sharing prize meat with these crackers who later turned on him.
What the fuck? What
I,
qualifies as prime meat? Like
I,
filet
that's that
mignon or some
coon.
shit?
That's that coon talk. That's that coon talk. That's that coon prize meat. Prize meat. You know what I'm saying? Prize meat. Like, come on, dudes. He said that. He was giving his prize meat to the community. So, so Mr. Mallory claims that within the first weeks of being on the land, they experienced racism. I don't know how he can make that statement when you did all these other things. And also, what I almost left out was that Nicole Mallory is a veteran. I don't know if both of them been in the service, but Nicole
Mm-hmm.
Mallory is an ex-Marine. She was in the
Mm-hmm.
Marines. I don't know how long, but she's proud of that. She's also sits on some commission for racial justice, and it has to do with remember when certain jobs was illegally firing and not hiring sisters for having locks in their hair or
Yeah.
certain hairstyles. Remember that right there?
Yeah, I remember that.
So so Nicole Mallory sits on some board where she fights for that right there. So that's her contribution, I guess, to the community, on that. She wants to fight for. She's supposed to be the one that's like conscious, and I guess the husband is the planter. So
Okay.
she fights for that. But I find it ironic that, and this is not an attack on the man's wife. This is not an attack on the man's wife, but there's no other way for me to try to clean it up and say it. I find it amazing that his wife is in tune with her blackness. She's conscious, and she wants to help this and that. And specifically, she was on his commission, so they wouldn't discriminate against sisters for wearing hairstyles, having locks, and different things and everything. But when you see her on the news, she got this goddamn cracker weave down to her titty. She got cracker
Mm.
weave on down. I'm talking about the Farrah Fawcett fluffed out hair down to her
Right.
breast. And I'm looking at this like that's a
Mm.
that's
So,
a major contradiction. You worried about not, and you got that on top of your head. You know what I mean?
so
So,
she's
so
so she's doing her community work, fighting for because we seen it in the past. Certain schools they. I think a couple videos I seen where like the black student had dreads before the wrestling match, and they made him shave his hair to be able to. So that's her thing. She's an advocate for that, but she got a whole lace front on. That's what you tell
she wears a weave, and she will allow a white woman on her property with all this right here. Remember, they said within the first few weeks of being on the land, they experienced racism. So this is something that they left out. Now we all in the uproar because the Mallorys got arrested. How can the black people be arrested when they're being discriminated against? They're the ones finding the word nigger written on their gate, and their cows are being. Why did the Mallorys and everybody and all these black social medias? Why did they leave out that the Clarks were arrested last year? The cops arrested the Clark lady last year.
they arrested her because of the
because
Mallories.
because of the Mallorys for pestering the Mallorys. So the,
Mm.
so the officers they arrest people down there. They got
Right.
the white neighbor. They took the white neighbor to jail. They
Okay.
took her to jail last
Mm.
year. Now,
Now was she? Now she was arrested.
yeah,
Was she convicted of a crime? Do you
it
know that?
didn't go it didn't go
Okay.
into detail all that, but she was arrested, I guess, for either stalking or for pestering or
Okay.
for
Okay. Well,
whatever
she
type of
was she
way.
was put in cuffs and took to the precinct.
She was the woman was probably never been arrested before in her life. She was
Mm-hmm.
arrested. I don't know why they left that out. So common sense should tell y'all 86% white in that town. The Mallorys then got her arrested. Y'all know this white woman gonna want some get back. She's supposed to.
Right.
She's supposed to. There's couples in domestic violence cases where if the dude happened to call the police and get the woman arrested, you don't think the woman got a vendetta that I'm gonna get you arrested on the next one. That's how it goes. So if the Clarks was arrested, then it's supposed to be the next one gonna be the black people. Like, come on, y'all, don't. So
Okay.
Courtney and Nicole are down there. They said they experienced racism since the first weeks. But they have these flags down there now. They have this. They have several BLM flags. Nicole has her Marine flag flying, which is of no help because how all this stuff gonna be happening to you, and the Marines don't even come help you.
All right.
Just as useless as the BLM flag. They got this Wakanda Forever flag flying like retards,
Okay.
and they got this God bless flag, and I'm surprised they ain't got a rainbow flag up. But
All right, now, not to cut you off grid, but we do have someone who's chimed in, MBP. Could you, obviously your name's MBP. Could you just elaborate who you are, and we'll love to hear exactly your take on what we've been discussing.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah. My name is it's my initial is MVP, but
Okay.
my name is Ann. I'm calling in from Denver, Colorado. So I'm just listening. That's all.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
have. I'm not chiming in right now. I'm just listening.
that's the
Okay.
sister
Perfect.
that I told you about.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So we do have someone from Colorado that's chimed in with the live right now. So she's just listening right now off grid. So continue on with where you were at, and please chime in to give us any more clarification. You're in the vicinity of these people, and any information that you have would be great.
So I was saying how the Mallory's have this flag down there now. We're probably gonna get into some discrepancies and difference of opinions on it, and that's okay. Me
Mm-hmm.
personally, if I'm in any area that's 86% white and it's not, I guess, liberal whites or with that type of program, I'm personally not going to be flying Black Lives Matter and Wakanda Forever and all this and that. I'm not going to fly that right there. I feel that that's inviting trouble. I feel like the white family that moves into the urban area and they see
Mm-hmm.
what time it is and then they erect a Confederate flag. I feel whatever happens to them after that, they got that coming to them. I feel that they would have that coming to them.
Yeah. I mean, that does, that's inciting. That's
It's
insightful. You know
it's
what I'm
it's
saying?
it's it's inciting.
Yeah.
And how can y'all be? How can the Mallorys be Black Lives Matter and all that when you didn't even have black people farmhanding helping you? You didn't even request black people to come to the Freedom Acres Ranch and help you. You saw it
Okay.
outside, and you had a white woman living there helping you. Um, Courtney Courtney Mallory, he named the animals on his farm with these names: George Floyd, Brianna, and Juneteenth.
What? Wait. So he named his animals off of slain black people by police. Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and then he named one of them Juneteenth.
You heard me
So
correct.
so
He's naming his cattle after fallen black people, whether if you believe how they died or not. Me personally, I'm not a fan of George Fentanyl Floyd. I'm not a fan of George Floyd at all. At all, point blank.
yeah, I
Breonna Taylor,
mean,
the different story.
exactly, yeah.
Juneteenth, I feel that that's not a good holiday because you should be ashamed that you found out slavery was over 2 years later, not throwing a picnic for it. But this man is naming his cattle after fallen. He probably got one for Trayvon Martin and everything. It's like that's weird right there. That's weird
Yeah,
and it's
that's weirdo
goofy.
stuff right there.
It's
Like, you know
weird
what I'm
and it's
saying?
extremely goofy. You
Yeah.
know what I
Now
mean?
now I'm now I'm kind of under the impression, you know, do we have a black couple that moved into a predominantly white area, and like you said, inciting things, to a degree. First they're helping them, then now they're inciting them. Naming animals after slain black people. You know what I'm saying? That's just weird. That's weird
Yeah,
right there.
it's extremely weird. Um,
Yeah, that's crazy right there.
Also, I skipped over the Mallory's claim that the neighbors killed Don, the Mexican and black dude. The Mallory's claim that they say the neighbors killed Don. When they say neighbors, I don't know if they mean Mrs. Clark. I don't know if they mean other
Mm-hmm.
neighbors. It kind of makes you wonder, like, so where, so if Miss Clark lives a mile away, then who are these other neighbors and everything? Because remember, there's reports of The Mallory's saying that cars been stopping out front. They said that the Clarks went on social media and told people to drive by the house and park at the gate and look in. And the Mallory said when they see somebody at the gate, it'll be a car there, and they'll drive off, and they following in town and everything. So it makes me wonder, like, who are these neighbor people?
And we have a comment: the Mallorys are gonna be all right, especially with that 96K GoFundMe. But I don't know if you want to get into that now, but I just wanted to throw that out there because I know.
Let me dispel that real quick. They gonna be more than all right because it's not 90,000. They sitting on 120 something thousand now.
So since the last time they've raised an extra 30,000.
Man, look, I think they first donation was $5,000. There's a break there. If you go to their thing, somebody donated 5 G's. I'm looking at, like, they got, like, people, when you go to their thing, it starts off 200, 300, 400, 700, 1,900, 5,000. Like, these people are getting banked. This man is sitting on over 100K, and he was stealing power from the fucking power line. Stealing power from the power line.
So this could very well just be a come up for them. You know what I'm saying? You know, we came into some farmland, because we still haven't established, like, you know, what these people do for a living. I know we talked off camera about some type of assistance program based off the wife having some military credentials or something. That's probably how they acquired the land. But maybe they would just came up on some land, couldn't afford it, and just put this whole theatrical thing together to get 130K. I don't know.
Also, and this is strange right here, because of the Clarks, their neighbors, putting up inciting violence against them, racial violence against the Mallorys were able to be accepted into a program where their identities are concealed. Now, that's useless right now because people know their name and the story and everything, but they were able to get into a program because of that. And I thought that was real weird right there. You know, because again, remember, we got to go back now. They said they've experienced racism within the first few weeks, but they were able to feed the community, hire people down there, give people the good meat, you know what I'm saying, some of their good beef down there and all this and that. But yet and still, these accusations about racism, you know what I mean? And don't forget, the Mallorys fed that community down there, man. You can't overlook that right there. You can't. They fed these people in that rural. That's a rural community, and they claim that the same people we fed turned on us. Now, me personally, from everything that I've read, and also when we were saying that this is why it's good to do research, because you could be wrong, and you will be wrong when you don't research. When we were stating that the sheriff, what's his name, Sergeant Emery Ray Gerhardt, we were saying that he's married to the district attorney. He's not married to the district attorney. Deputy Gerhardt is married to the judge, Shannon Gerhardt of the 4th County Judicial Court. You know what I mean? So we looking at some stuff where the odds are stacked against them. Yeah, judicially, yeah, it's stacked against them. But when you start breaking everything down, the neighbor was arrested. The Mallorys fed the community. They hired people. They flew those flags. They found 5 stores to supply their meat and to deal with during COVID, and they fed people for free. They gave they helped people in that community. They didn't help no black people. They didn't ask to go to Aurora or anywhere else with the black people. They didn't say, hey y'all, they didn't do that. Locally, they helped their community, and now they're claiming that the community has turned on them. I think this is the case over that easement. They might have got besides themselves, and also Nicole Mallory, she states that she feels this is the case of an educated black woman that don't know her place. She feel like they're looking at her as an educated black woman that don't know her place. And I almost left this out. This is important right here. There's a part in the article where Mrs. Mallory claims she was at home alone. Courtney was somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
She was home alone. She was in the shower, butt naked. Like Bernie Mac said, bucket naked.
Mm-hmm.
She was bucket naked in the shower. She said somebody came in the home.
Mm-hmm.
She said somebody came through the front door, came in the home. She said before she knew it, she was standing there wet, naked, with her shotgun. She don't state who the fuck came in. She don't state what happened after that. She just state for theatrical purposes, she found herself standing there naked, wet, holding her shotgun. She didn't even shoot nobody. Now you can't get me to believe you an ex-Marine. These people is talking you, calling you nigger. You finding dead carcasses on your land. They telling you go home. They talking about pitchforks. They told people to do stuff to you on social media, and you hear somebody come in your house, and you grab a shotgun, and you see them there, and you ain't fired out one shot, man.
So did she say with this information? Did she say she actually seen someone, or she found herself in the middle of the floor naked with a shotgun, but no visible presence of anyone?
Nicole Mallory says she was in the shower, naked, taking a shower. Someone entered the home and came inside that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And she grabbed her shotgun, and before she knew it, she was standing there naked, wet, holding her shotgun, and it just stops there. Several reports, when you go to look, she don't even, it's all, to me, it's all cat.
Right.
And I don't know if you heard earlier when I was speaking, they said that the neighbors would come inside their home and leave things that say nigger on it. How did these white folks can just come in your home? Like what? So what, they was coming in with a bag of bananas and say, here, you monkey niggers? Like,
right.
How do they have access to come inside your home? And then if Nicole is in the shower, why didn't you shoot whoever was there? She didn't say she got out and they ran. She said they was in the house.
Right.
And she didn't shoot nobody. Man, these people is capping.
That's crazy.
Sitting on 100K.
Hey, capping can get you paid, obviously. That's crazy. Let's get into MVP. Let me use the name you put up there. With you being in Colorado, is there anything that you can chime in with in regards to this couple? Have you tried to reach out to them? Have you just been looking at the story on the news or on social media? Is there anything that you can add to what Off Grid has been speaking on? Okay, she's probably away. So let me ask you, Off Grid. Is it safe to say, based off, and thank you for all the lead work you did with all this information, very informative. Is it safe to say that this situation may have been blown out? The only thing that sounds like very, very scary in a sense to this situation is the guy who ended up dead.
Right. Now
that right there, now we're talking about murder. Now that could be a isolated incident. It has nothing to do with this situation. It's a ironic coincidence though, for him to end up dead with this situation going on and him being in association or helping the Mallorys out. So that right there is a little funny right there. But is it safe to say that these people probably don't need the support that they've been kind of amping this situation up to be that they need? Even you yourself, you said you've reached out to people that may know them or might be close to them, and no one has responded to anything. So if you just have a man and a woman up here who has all this racism going on, you would think they would want people to come help on this land, to set up shop, do some rotations, do some shifts to make sure, that they're properly secure, properly safe. But that seems to be the opposite of what's going on. They're not responding to messages. They're not getting back to people. The GoFundMe is steady getting higher, so they're definitely being supported financially. But is this just another outcry, a fake outcry, just to get some money? I mean, what you think?
I don't think they set out to start a GoFundMe and get money. I don't believe that right there. I don't believe that was their intention. But I believe from reading everything, from reading what I read from the news, from thinking from my perspective, and
Mm-hmm.
from what I've seen on the news and seen from them and seen on social media, when I compile all of that and the fact that multiple people who I don't know have tried to reach out and they've reached the same dead end that I've reached, I
Mm-hmm.
surmise in the end that this was a couple that they lost everything in the hurricane in Houston. Um, they moved out to Colorado. I believe Mrs. Mallory utilized some type of service thing from her background, and they
Mm-hmm.
did something to acquire that land because they do have an LLC. And I've took a lot of I put a lot of storylines on my Instagram from the computer screen. So some of this stuff people might want to be like, nah, he probably worded that wrong. You can go in there and look. I mean, I was amazed. I just held my phone to the computer and I just copied it. But I
Okay.
feel that they moved out there. They had an idea, obviously, to farm and everything, and they went out there. And I think that they were never really in tune with the black community when they were in Houston. I think this was just that doesn't make them bad. I think they was just black people who just the wife's an ex-marine. I don't know what his situation was, and I think they was just living life. Moved out there, and things started to go left with that easement. Things went left with the easement. Things went left naturally because 86% white, and you're going to have some white people that don't like black people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a shame that when you have black people like them, they just go out there just all goofy and like not really seeing the situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
Any black people should alarm should be up when you're around that type of population of people because you don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they went out there and they tried to fit in and different things. And I think when the easement thing happened, that set the stage. And you're dealing with a case of black people that don't know the difference between racists and bigots. Obviously, the people they were feeding, their uh, and she responded and said a bad connection. I guess she got to come back in or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, she dropped out. Okay.
Um, yes, I do want to hear from her because she's right there. Um, they don't know the difference between racists and bigots. And here's why people say, I don't know if you ever heard this argument, and I'd like to know people's opinions on this. When you ask some like wise black people, when you ask all wise black people if they would prefer a bigot or a racist, they would tell you straight out, we prefer the racist. The racist is not going to cut any corners with you. The racist is not going to smile. They're not going to play games with you. They're going to call you the end to your face, and that's that. The bigot is the white person on your job that you work with. That's cool and everything. Then y'all fall out over something, or you find out over time over jealousy, or the N word finally comes out because of something. Most black people prefer the bigot. It's like they want that subtle letdown that this person is a regular cracker. And other black people, they want that racist. Like with me, I prefer the racist. That way
Yeah,
I
you
know
know
what
what
I'm
you're
dealing
dealing with.
with.
Yeah, you know what you're dealing with.
Know what I'm dealing with. And I think that the Mallory's got out there and they were playing that bigot game. And that's what you deserve. When you play with bigots, you deserve for them to pull that bigot mask off and then for them to reveal to you the racist that they are. And I think that the back and forth with the Clark lady next door, they got the best of her because remember they sent her to jail first. They
Mm-hmm.
sent her to jail first. That's one woman over there with her elderly mother, and there's some type of health issues there. So you can imagine how that woman feel. I'm gonna get these two black people back. So it's a back and forth, and
Mm-hmm.
Clark happened to got the best of them. She got the best of them probably because of the white skin thing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, what you expect? 86%. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying?
only
I mean,
that's
yeah,
I mean
it's only
you can get that in a predominantly area that ain't in an area that ain't predominantly
exactly
white,
right,
you know
right,
what I'm saying?
right,
Like,
right. But
yeah, so
especially in that area. So I don't think that they started out for a bag. I don't think they was that smart at all. I think they was just they went out there with a plan. It went wayward. They got into it with that closest neighbor. The neighbor revealed who they are, and things went from there. The neighbor got friends. They took to social media, and I find it ironic that the Clarks didn't save that. Like that's your saving grace right there. Those social media posts, those screenshots, that would
right,
save you. But there's
right,
none. And also, I want to state the difference between a lot of these black publications and the local so-called white ones is that I noticed that a lot of the black ones, you got to remember in journalism, you can lie. You're not supposed to lie, but you can lie. We all know, unless you provide facts, the black publications are all saying that they reached out to the police department, to Mr. Gerhardt, and to all these other people, and they didn't hear anything. I have common sense. I know that you can just say that in a report,
right.
and that's your way of trying to get them to respond. But you
Mm-hmm.
need to show us a formal request. You need to show us an email. You need to show us a letter. You need to show us something where you try to contact Mr. Gerhardt, the sheriff, the DA. You need to show that to us because we're hearing all these things, but we're not seeing anything. We don't see any social media posts.
Mm-hmm.
We don't any. And why is this murder being swept underneath the rug? That's the most horrible thing of this whole story right here. Is Mr. Amayo or whatever his name was?
Yeah,
That man is
that's
dead. That man is dead, and his son ain't got a father.
yeah, that that's a turn of events right there. You see what I'm saying? We got two neighbors bickering over easement.
Right.
We got some dead cattle and stuff like that. That's serious too. That's a definitely a show of that someone's willing to be volatile with you to take it there. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Right.
that's serious within itself too. But to actually have a dead body of someone who was assisting that family, that kind of lends itself to the Mallories, that they may be correct about some of the things that they're saying, but you know, just like you said, they haven't been doing a great job of keeping this proof, keeping this evidence. If you're getting constant harassment, anything that happens, you're supposed to be recording that in some shape, form, or fashion. The only thing I heard about them talking about anything toward this sheriff is in that video that we played with the wife while he was getting arrested. And she was just, saying the sheriff Gerhardt
And
is these are his goons,
right.
these are his goons, and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
besides that,
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I'm glad you brought that part up too, and I'm gonna get to that. But here's another part I almost left out. Um. Damn, my mind just got jarred just now when you said that. Okay. The Mallory's claim that they have video of Sheriff Gerhardt on their video, like riding by the house, like parked out front, looking, and then drive off. Now, to me, that's a slap in the face to tell me that because it's like you want me to believe that the sheriff, the sergeant who's married to the judge,
mhm,
gonna drive down there. I mean, the Mallory's acting like this is 1940s. So he gonna
mhm,
drive down there. He gonna post up in front of y'all gate. He just gonna look at y'all and be looking, and then y'all record him on video. Then he drives off. That's like some old Ku Klux Klan type thing where the Klan pull up and give you that look when the sun is up. Then sundown, they come out with the mask on. I have an explanation for why the sergeant probably drove by there and they got him on video and he just looked around and drove off. I don't think it was, yeah, intimidation tactic. You know what it probably was? Can
mhm.
you guess why the sheriff probably went down there and drove to the Mallory's land and like looked around, didn't talk with them, and then just drove off? Can you think of a reason why he might have did that?
I mean, he probably was doing his job. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I would think.
Here's the thing. Maybe he was investigating the murder. Maybe he was
Right.
looking around. Remember, a man died. Like at this point, damn his cattle, damn them BLM flags,
Mm-hmm.
damn all this old other stuff.
Right.
The man lost his life. So maybe he was piecing together because remember, he worked at that farm and he left the farm to go to where he got killed at. So there's a connection there.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody with half a brain would know that they're going to investigate the crime scene and where the person came from. Maybe there's some clues there. He wanted to look around. So the Mallory's putting this out there to where, yeah, we got video footage of the sheriff out front, and then he just drives by. So why y'all ain't got footage of all this other stuff?
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
And a murder is an open investigation. There's no statute of limitations on murder. They gonna forever his murder case is gonna forever be open until they find a suspect.
Right.
Until they
And
find a
then, yeah.
suspect, that case is open.
Yeah, and then you know, if they're driving past the house, you know, is that, you know, that's not really nothing concrete right there. That's not
Now,
nothing concrete.
it's
You
a
know what I'm saying?
million reasons. It's a million positive reasons why he drove by that house, man. It's an open investigation.
Right. Exactly. Hey, shit, it's cracking in Colorado right now. It's cracking in Colorado right now. I sent a link to my friend in Colorado. I was hoping he chimed in, but I don't think he's gonna chime in tonight. Um, man, like this is the an extreme update.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everyone who has been tuned in and will see this video would definitely be enlightened about this particular situation and the current events with it. You know, I don't even know where to take this whole thing, you know, because it's a lot of back and forth. It's some things that, you know, kind of support what the Mallorys are saying, and then there's some things that kind of go against the Mallorys, like they may be just putting on some little theatrics. But then when you throw a dead person, throw someone getting murdered, you know what I'm saying, execution style with their pants down, you know, it just gets very serious at that point. You know what I'm saying? So
I want to throw something in too.
go ahead.
On the first initial update that we did, when we was breaking it on here, the one brother that I guess went back and watched the video and left a comment, and he was stating that
Mm-hmm.
I think he said I need to do more fact checking, and I sound like a
Right.
hater.
Yeah.
Do you have those comments right there?
I'm about to pull him up.
Please,
I want
please
because
pull that
I want
up.
to see exactly. I want to see
Please, please,
exactly what he said.
please pull that up. I want to address that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull him up so we can read through it. You know, he suggested that there was a lot of speculation, not enough facts. So let me go to it right now. I have it right here. Okay. So the guy that he's referring to name is I iBox River. So this is what he says in his initial statement. Too much speculation in this video in regards to the farmer couple not being pro-black enough, and the black farmer couple being part of a witness protection program. Like, what the fuck? Get some facts before talking all that unnecessary shit and throwing the whole conversation off. Dude with the glasses sounded like he had a personal problem with the farmer couple. Then he started questioning their GoFundMe credentials and suggested people shouldn't donate. Again, what the fuck? Dude's giving hater vibes. I had to cut the video halfway through.
I want to respond. What's the brother's name again?
iBox River.
Brother iBox River. Oh, read my response on there, please.
Got you. So I'm gonna read my response to that. This is what I put. You know what I'm saying? Let's read. Let's give it to the people. So I put appreciate the feedback. As things develop, maybe perspectives will change. I myself have heard different things since this live. Stay tuned. Please join in the convo. Now you came in saying at iBox River, join the next video and provide your research results. People who are over the age of 25 that use the term hater are usually slow or developmentally delayed. He comes back and says, could say the same thing for people who start sentences with the lowercase letters, but whatever, hater. And then you come back, next time, get your facts straight before talking publicly. It's not that hard, sir. Oh, no, that's something he said. That's something he said. So you only said one comment to him.
No, I thought I had another comment on there.
Did you? Okay, let me search through and make sure, because I'm not seeing it. All right, let me go to my wait. Make sure I get everything.
Yeah.
I do remember you having another one.
Yeah, I had two. Yeah.
All right, let me go to my other thing and I'll be able to pull it. So yeah, bear with me. Okay. Okay. You said I expect to see you at the update, and your apologies will be shitted on like your mentality. Right. Okay. That's the second one you had.
Now the reason why I responded with that, because I knew we would be right here before I did any research or anything, because that's how it goes. This case with the Mallorys, it appeals to black people who are concerned. It appeals to us saying that, man, they're doing this brother and sister wrong. We got to get out there. That's how I felt. That's how you felt. That's how a lot of people feel. Right. So you're open to jump to conclusions, but we have to remember that all skin folk ain't our folk, and you can't just jump on anything. We live in the days and times now as to where you have to second guess, you have to research. If you just jump out there, you're going to be, you could be molded in the end. So I predicted that if he was to research and he come back on this show here, he would offer an apology. But and I said that I would shit on it. Then the reason why I came that hard at the brother is because why can't he use the same discernment that I have? Why does it have to be when we hear something that we don't agree with, we immediately go to, you're a hater, get your facts straight. All my facts were straight. I was reciting what I was up to date on. Today, I took it upon myself as a concerned citizen and a responsible person that has brain cells and that's not slow to go and research. And I spent 3 hours of my time today, and I provided all the information that I have here. Everything that I've listed, it crashes everything that he speculated about. Everything that he speculated about, it crashed all of that. From the GoFundMe, because they sitting on over 115,000 right now. Sound like a hater? No, I'm basically saving anybody else that wants to go down there and waste their time. I'm saving them a trip. And this is for other people to learn not to be like that. It may be hard, but when you hear these stories of racism and things that you don't like, stop for a minute, review what you've heard, start reading, but do the research. And then do further research days later, because new reports is always going to be unfolding and coming out. And then come back with an update or an apology or whatever it is. Luckily for me, I ain't the one coming back with an apology. I'm coming back with an update.
Yeah, you definitely came with more information, a ton of more information. Very thorough work. And what I want to do with you, with that being said, because I think it's important that you be supported for your efforts. For someone who's bringing the information to the community. And what I'm doing right now is let me redo that. I'm putting up your Cash App. And please, anyone that runs across this video, please make sure y'all support this brother's efforts, because like he said, he took 3 hours out of his time to research this information. He's concerned about the community, and he wants to make sure that the money that the community is sending these people is on the up and up, and it's legit. So can you see that? I do got that right. $RBG mentality, correct?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And any cash proceeds, any donations that come to us, we are on an actual camp, 69 acres of land down here near Shreveport. We have cabins, we have solar panels, we have chickens. We don't have any livestock, but we've been down here before COVID. There's 3 of us, and we live off grid. You know what I mean? We righteous people. We really do it. We try to train and show other black people how you can be a minimalist and survival out here and everything. and that's what it goes towards. As far as my case out here,
Yes.
and thank you for anybody that does donate.
Yes, please support. Please support. Support both of our efforts. You know, he lives off grid. Off grid. He offers, like he just said, training, off grid training. On top of that, a very intelligent, knowledgeable individual. So not only will you'll be able to survive in an off grid environment. It comes with a ton of other information and wisdom that he's acquired over the years. So please make sure y'all hit his Cash App, show your support for him. Hit the Ears to the Street Cash App, and that's what Ears to the Street is geared toward. You know, bringing you guys the factual information. You know, we can, you know, we're concentrating our efforts to make the platform have more resources so we can bring you that information, that factual information in a timely manner, so we won't have these situations where you're donating to frauds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's too many people who have come into this conscious community or of the conscious community that you guys have contributed millions to, hundreds of thousands to, and then a year later, 2 year later, you see these guys basically shitting on the same community that supported them. So do your due diligence and support the people that's really about this, the people that's really in the communities doing the work. So me and him, we have a network that we're building with other like-minded individuals, and we need the community support. So make sure you guys support our efforts as well.
Yeah, tell
On
me
the
about
real.
you coming down as well.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be down in March. To his camp. Look forward to that. Looking forward to learning a lot, chopping it up with him. We got some other big things that we putting together. So and it's all geared toward our community and bettering it. We got some things that we got in play with actually getting into the communities and rebuilding them, restoring them. All these abandoned buildings in these black communities that just dead real estate. We need to have our own grocery stores. We need to have our own libraries. We need to have anything that you would go into your quote unquote metropolitan area and have. We should have that in our communities. We got to
Right.
keep that dollar. We got to keep that dollar black. So those are some of the things we're working on, and you guys will definitely be getting updates on all those things as time progresses. No
Oh,
doubt, no doubt.
I got one more thing.
Hmm.
The Mallory's was seeking, I think it said 25,000 for their
Yeah, I seen
GoFundMe.
that. Yeah, and
They were
they wait.
seeking they were seeking 25,000. Right now
Yeah.
they sitting on over 110. Oh, put it open. $110,000. They sitting on $110,000 right now. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Them people in Colorado, they asked for $25,000. They sitting on $110,000 right now.
And
It ain't showing
to
nothing.
yeah, and then to based off your information, seems that they're um ignoring any physical support. Any physical support. Are they using this money for or any type of security? And let me ask you this: was the NAACP bond out? Is that official? Yeah, you breaking up. You freezing up. You freezing up right now. Yeah, because I'm like, okay, if you guys getting bonded out by the NAACP,
Can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. You
Yeah,
in?
the NAACP, they bonded him out. I don't know. You know what? I don't know why they bonded him out, because on the video, Mrs. Mallory had the cash in order to bail him out when they said it was 2,000, and then
Right.
the cops told her that, well, no, um just hold on to it and everything, and then they raised it to 6. So I mean, I don't know if she had a 6 or not. I'm not, because I know somebody be like, oh, y'all pocket watching, man. um the NAACP is very irresponsible for that right there, because I mean, is that their way of tying into it, and then they get publicity from that? They get further donations because, like I say, they asked for 25,000. He gonna be sitting on 125,000 in a minute.
And I'm pretty sure if we check that GoFundMe in the next week or so, it's gonna continue to go
Oh
up.
no,
It's gonna
no,
continue
remember
to
his
go up.
court date. His court date is tomorrow, right? And
Okay.
hers is the
Yeah.
16th. So you can guarantee by March. See, we should do an update the date she goes to court on the 16th, because they gonna be sitting. Man, them people made clear $200,000
Mm, mm,
and ain't did
mm.
nothing for no community. You ain't seen not one photo op of black kids down there farming, picking grapes, picking cotton. You ain't seen nothing.
Right, and then that's the thing too. Like, if you have 1,000 acres, and obviously you have some livestock, like what is your industry? I don't know. It's just it seems like a lot of vagueness like going on with like what is the land being used for? Are you?
I
I
know
don't
this
know.
much right here because we've never seen not one photo of any produce. Like any, I haven't seen anything. I just seen dead
Right.
cows and everything. But remember, from his own mouth, he said that he was giving the people of that community his good beef. He was giving them good beef. So when this starts to subside, Mr. Mallory and Miss Nicole, they should be able to provide us with some good vegetables and some chickens
Right.
and I mean,
Yeah.
they gave
Like
it to
like
these
a hun-
racist
like a
people.
hundred like 125,000 worth. You know what I'm saying?
They
Like.
gave it to remember they fed these racist people even though when they first got down there within the first couple of weeks they were getting racist threats and they still fed the people. So when this kind of subsides a little bit, it should be a big old Black Power picnic out there on the Mallories. Big old brontosaurus burgers. They should be doing it big out there.
Hey, I'm telling you, man. Well, there y'all have it, y'all. All Grid did an excellent job tonight of bringing the update on this Colorado Rancher couple. Um, we gotta we go ahead, come back
One,
in, go
one,
back in.
one more thing. When the brothers say I did some excellent work, I appreciate that, and I know what he's getting at. But I just want to let y'all know this is what you're supposed to do. You're never supposed to hear a
Mm,
story and just run with the wind. You're supposed to, if it affects you enough. And I know that a lot of us, because like a lot of people did on the comments, if y'all go look on the comments somewhere, the overwhelming majority of people, words to the Mallories was, "We stand with you," and they send the prayer hands. Very few people were trying to get in contact, get a number, and very few people were trying to actually get down there. I and myself, the people that I run with, we were trying to get down there. We see a
right.
need for it. We keep a bug out bag on call, so in case anything happens right now, we can just grab one bag and you got something to cook with, something to sleep in. You got clothes, you got food, got everything that I need. I grab one bag. It's hanging right up here behind me. Grab that
Mm-hmm.
one bag and hit the road, and we were good. We were trying to reach out to this brother right here because we wanted to go down here. We live off here. We know how to survive. We can live underneath messed up conditions and stuff. Only thing we wanted to know was what's it like when we get there? Like what's the plan? Nobody said anything. I contacted another brother. His name is Hawk something. He's part of some organization. And I inboxed the brother, and the brother got back at me. We're talking about generators and this and that. You don't need that right there. They need
Right.
protection down there. Only thing they really need is some porta potties down there, unless they want 100 people coming in and out their house. But
Right.
even then, compost toilet we could use. But he needed expert people so it wouldn't be a burden on him. When black people do things together, we do it bigger and better. The Mallories haven't learned that. They don't know the
Mm,
needs of people coming down there that's going to be camping out, sleeping in a sleeping bag. And who wants to leave a comfortable bed to go down to that camp and go through all that and not be aware of what you're getting into? Only a fool would do that, you know? and
exactly.
and and,
Exactly.
and they're asking for us to arrive there. I think they canceled the march on the 17th. They had a march going on. From what I heard, they canceled it, and they need to. But going down there to march for these people, and they keep putting in there, if y'all want to help and come down here, and he says, keyword, he keeps saying, rebuild Freedom Acres Ranch. Rebuild from what? That man sitting on 100 and some thousand dollars. Ain't no rebuild nothing for free. You better be paying $20 an hour. for
Right,
somebody to come down
right,
there and help rebuild, and what all was destroyed. You
right.
know what
That's
I
what I'm
mean?
trying to figure out. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's still, a lot of answers, a lot of questions been answered. Well, a lot of information has been given, but it still seems like there's a lot more to learn about this thing as time goes on.
It's a whole lot. One more thing I kind of left out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the cops came and they searched the Mallory's home, and they
Mm-hmm.
left with security cameras and footage. Um, from the footage, what they're saying, they haven't released it yet. They're saying that the cameras that the Mallory's had, they were focused on the Clark's home. Um, like I say, it's weird because they're supposed to be like a mile away, but they're saying that the cameras were focusing on the Clark's her back door, um, a window, just basically all on them. And the police figured like that. That's strange right there. So it shows that they had some type of beef going on. They wanted to know when Miss Clark was coming and
Right,
going, and it
right.
was probably tit for tat. This is a tit for tat thing. Got out of hand behind neighbors, and
Mm-hmm.
because one is white, one is black. We live in a day and age where black people keep hollering racism, and then we all supposed to get all bunch up,
Mm-hmm.
tear up the city, and do all this stuff behind some people who were feeding white people, whose wife wear weave, and they were cool feeding the rural people, and we supposed to be all up in arms. No, black people, be
Right.
smart. Hear these stories, stay calm, do your research, come back with a better understanding, and then go from there. Because as of right now, I wouldn't go up to Freedom Ranch for nothing. For nothing.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, and rightfully so, rightfully so. Sounds like a lot of back and forth shit going on.
Yeah.
You know, feeding the locals good beef, and then now you screaming for help, talking about your stuff is being vandalized, but then you're in a predominantly white community, and you're waving Black Lives Matter flags. Seems a little inside. I don't know. It's crazy at this point. It's crazy at this point. I really want to when we come back on the 16th or on the 17th to update after the court cases. I really want to know if there's any more information pertaining to that guy that got killed. Yeah, to that guy that got killed, because that's crazy right there. And with the wife missing, you said the wife missing, right? Like she's on a run or something.
Yeah, they said they're looking for her. You would think she would be like the number one suspect because she's missing right now. The boy is with family, but the wife is on the run. They can't find her.
And that might not be on the run. That could be like kidnapped, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. You know what I'm
She could be
saying?
there somewhere. She could be there. I mean, who knows? She could
That's
be actually
crazy
be
right
there
there.
somewhere. We do not know.
Yeah, that's crazy right there. Well, man,
No.
it looked like we signing off grid, man. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his YouTube Level 4 Perspective. Make sure y'all
And
hit
my
that cash.
hit my and join my Instagram so you can see the footage that I recorded today and put on my storyline. Instagram is Mind Over Seven Media. Oh,
Yeah,
excuse me.
y'all.
Level 4 perspective.
Yeah, so the stuff you put up is on your YouTube or on your Instagram.
My bad. Instagram on the Instagram. Mind Over Seven Media.
Right. Okay. Cool. Cool. Mind over seven media. No doubt. No doubt. Well, man, we signing off from ears to the street. I want to thank everybody that tuned in. You know what I'm saying? That was in the comments supporting us. Make sure y'all hit that like button, that subscribe button. Make sure y'all hit that donation. Make sure y'all hit those cash apps. You know what I'm saying? Support our efforts. And then we will be coming up with an update after the court cases. Just to see what's going on with to continue to detail what's going on with this particular situation. Make sure you guys are doing y'all due diligence, like Off Grid said. When you hear a story, instead of getting emotional and sending all your hard-earned money to people who might not even deserve it, do your due diligence. Research the stories and be patient with it. Be patient. But we signing off ears to the street media with Fact and Entertainment Meet. I'm your host HG, and my man's Off Grid, on code Off Grid. And man, we out. Peace.